Okay, morning everyone, Sunday morning and back on it. No time for stopping at the minute. So this is the house, it's an ongoing project. I've just done the bedrooms and some downstairs stuff. This has all been mist coated now. Not by me, by others. So I think now the plan is to jump on this hallway. I'll go to the other end and turn you around. So I'm going to jump on this hallway. I don't know how much I get done today, but I just crack the ceilings out. Hallway, and then I'm going to start making my way downstairs, which is always a nice part of the job when you get to the bottom. You haven't got to keep coming up and down all the time. So, without further ado, I shall probably get a little bit of SBR on them edges, just to take the suction out where it's been bonded and dot and dabbed or whatever, and then we'll get a mix on and get these ceilings and a couple of walls knocked out today. Not going to go too mad today, it's Sunday. I'll be back here in the week as well. I've got three jobs going this week. And the other job, just by chance, is in the distance. It's one of them, I think the back of the house is over there somewhere. So I'm literally running from there to here, from there to here. And then I've got another little job tomorrow up a little bit further up near me. So yeah, all good, can't complain. No shortage of work, just a shortage of energy. Right, let's get that bloody kettle on. Look at the state of that, look, I'll have to circle them today. That's from yesterday. I didn't finish yesterday till about 5 and I'd had enough. I wasn't in no mood for washing rollers out. Anyway, from a painter back to a plasterer today. So, let's get these buckets off. Oh dear. I'm going to soak all them brushes in one of these tubs, I think. That's the plan. Right, I've got my GoPro in my hand, shining the light on me. I look like Gollum, look at that. My precious. Right, so I'm going to stick you on my head for a bit of point of view. So, as you can see, there's been quite a lot of bonding up to the ceiling and a bit of filling with a dab, with a dot and dab stuff, bonding here. Bit of dot and dab up in that bit there. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to muck about, I'm just going to get some SBR on the go, and I'll do all the ceiling, all along the edge of them walls, you know, because you've got a lot of dry joints there, and if you don't start SBR in them, the plaster's just going to get sucked to death in the middle of them and you're going to end up pulling lumpy bits away. So just to save any mucking about, I'll just stick a coat of SBR across the lot, then the scrims will stick nicely, and I can get on without worrying then. So now, I don't know if any of you saw a little video I did where I put some brick dye in some SBR. Well, this was the tub and I poured it all back into this whole tub, so hopefully this will have a bit of colour in it. Oh yeah, there's definitely colour in that. Look, it's like it's kind of like a purple. So let's see how that comes out now then. Oh dear. Sunday morning. I don't mind working Sundays. There's something quite chilled about working Sundays. It's a little bit like working nights. If ever you've been on any jobs and you can only get into the place at night, when you are working at nights, there's a real serenity and calmness about working at night. It's as if there's no real expectation of you. Obviously traffic's almost zero this time of day, so it's nice. Yeah, so this is my pink SBR. And this is one of them jobs, it doesn't matter a toss if you drop a bit on the floor. these are always my favourite jobs, these sort of empty projects really. So it's not a building site and it's not your normal domestic, you know, there's no carpet, there's no one in. It's just you know, an average 3-bedroom house. There's nothing too major, too big. It's just a nice size really. I do like the old void properties. You ain't got to start talking waffle with customers and all that lot. Alright, let's just gently tuck them into there. And I will always SBR or PVA these the edges of these cutouts for the lights, so it doesn't start soaking your plaster up and giving you aggro. Use that word a lot lately, aggro. Just pull that down now. Try and push that right in. A bit of an offset corner there. I can see that's curving right in that corner, so I'll have to bomb that out to about there, I think, before I put any bead on it. You can see it's sort of probably going to need to come to there before it ramps back straight to that. It's alright. Always an idea just to cast your eyes over these things. Because sometimes you don't want to wait till you get to it and then think, oh shit, I've got to put an inch of bonding on that corner. So have a look as you go. Just scan your eyes everywhere and just predict things that you might need to get done first. Never take it for granted that a corner is a square corner, because they never are. Well, they are. I'm lying there, of course some of them are. But you don't want to be putting a bead on that, because you'll end up, what'll happen is if you don't square that corner off and you just put your bead to the shape of what that is, what'll happen is when you go to skim the wall, your finish will start overshooting the edge of the bead, and then you've got to try and duck it into the bead, and that doesn't ever work really. You'd rather the bead be further out than further in. Right, that's all had a little brush. Right, so just for the sake of it, for the sake of another 2 minutes, I'm just going to do this. I've missed the light thing, I'll get that in a minute. I'll come back for you, don't you worry about that. I will find you and I will seal you. I will find you and I will kill you. Is that what it says? Just while I'm doing this, just while I'm thinking, I've just seen that Makita have brought out, as well as others I suppose, a cordless pressure washer. Which isn't as ridiculous as it sounds. It basically, it runs on the old batteries, the Makita batteries. And you can either connect a hose to it, or it comes with a hose that you could dunk into like a tub of water, like a bucket of water, and use it as a little pressure washer. Which when it first came out I thought, oh, that's a bit of a gimmick, but then the more I think about it, I think, yeah, I'm going to get one of them. I'll tell you what they'd be great for, would be, well, obviously pressure washing things. So sometimes if you're on a job and you've been in and out a lot in the day, especially in the summer, you can leave a lot of footprints and dusty footprints on people's paths and things. And there's only a limit to what you can sheet up. You can't start sheeting up people's front paths and drives. And so you'd usually just rinse it down with a bucket of water and a broom and just give it a little splosh down. But with that little pressure washer, all you've got to do is go out with your tub of water and you can pressure washer it down. But also, if you're doing a bit of rendering and once you've knocked, or you know, if you're hacking off old render outside, you can give it a little pressure wash off, kill all the dust with that. But as well as that, it's cleaning out your stuff. Cleaning your buckets, cleaning your hop-ups, you know, like the tops of your hop-ups. Because when you get home, last thing you want to do is start getting out hose pipes and then extension leads and plugging your pressure washer in, because wires are they're horrible on them pressure washers. They just flop everywhere, and you know, like the hose pipe and then the extension lead. It's just too much faff. But I think if you had one of them, you could just keep these regularly clean. And also your buckets, because I work on my own, sometimes these tubs, they get a bit of a build up, and I've missed the sweet spot to clean them out and brush them out with water so they're clean again. Sometimes you just haven't got time for that, so they end up obviously going a bit hard, and then you crack them out and stuff. But just to have that cordless one, and just you can give them a good old blast out and they'll be like as good as new again. So that is going to be my next purchase. I'm going to get the kettle on while that's taking up, and then I'm going to scrim that up and skim it, and I'll probably put you on a little time lapse over there. And that way, by putting the SBR on first, this scrim is going to stick, because these could previously have been a bit dusty, these boards. And the reason I'm using SBR and not PVA is purely time of year, really, because it's cold outside and there's not a lot of ambient heat drying things. PVA could sit on, not so much on the ceilings, obviously on these boards, but on a regular ceiling or regular wall, PVA can just sit on there for ages before you can get a chance to skim on it. And when that happens, I always think you generally tend to skim on it too early because you just can't wait any longer, or you've got heaters out blowing it on. But with SBR, it doesn't seem to matter what time of year it is, it just dries. So through these cold months, I'll use SBR, but as soon as it picks up again, I'm sure I'll be back on PVA, because it's cheaper as well, isn't it? It's half the price, and you can dilute it. I never dilute SBR. I mean, it's like semi-skim milk anyway. It runs everywhere, so I never add anything to it. But with PVA, you can dilute it down a fair bit, so it's going to go twice as far as a tub of SBR would for half the price. Which is what it's all about, isn't it? That's what we're here for, to make money. Yeah, that's what we've got to do, earn our money. Dicing with death. Always looks a lot worse on these cameras than what it actually is, but if I fall, I'm straight down now. Stupid, really. But what's the alternative? You can't start putting rigging and scaffolding up for something that you're only going to be on for 10 seconds every now and then. It's just literally for this bit above the stairs there. I don't think I'll need it, hopefully, when I'm plastering. It's just really just used it to get the scrim up. I just couldn't reach across to push that scrim in. So you just build yourself a little bit of rigging. And that's it. That's health and safety gone mad, days. Right. Before I have a cup of tea and a little bit of energy, I'd just like to take a moment to say thanks ever so much for anyone that's subscribed in the last sort of for a few months since I've really started doing this. I did some stuff, I don't know, maybe over a year ago, just here and there, but just before Christmas I thought I'd really give this a push and just see what comes of it, really. See if anyone finds anything I'm doing interesting and they enjoy it. And so far the subscribers are building quite nicely, really, at a good pace, and the views are picking up. So just really a thumbs up from me to you. Thank you for anyone that's done that. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you find some of the stuff interesting, informative, amusing. So anyway, enough from me. Thank you very much. And the next thing you'll see me doing is a bit of graft. Let's do it. Let's get it done. Not the best place for the bucket really, is it? Let's move this thing out of the way. Oh fuck mate, they don't get any lighter, do they? I think I've mixed up way too much plaster here. Wasn't thinking, I just mixed the bag up and then I looked round and I thought, I don't know if I actually need that much. But anyway, let's chuck it on. There might be some little bits, I think there's like a little bit under there. Little bits I can use up, so. Okay. And I'm thinking of euphoria. Just going to go with the smaller carbon trail hawk today. Trail today, sorry, not hawk. I'm not going to go mad with a big one. So I'm up and down on the hop-ups. I've got other things. I've got stilts, which I'm not mad on at this age, and I've got a pair of them work tool boots. And I don't know if you follow any other channels, but Damo on Dam's TV, he bought a pair, and he's fell off them 2 or 3 times, and I can vouch for that. It doesn't matter how good you are with your balance, they're bloody work tool boots, as much as they look like they're a good idea, and they do work in a lot of situations, but just be careful on them, because when they go, they twist your ankle as you go down. It's happened to me 2-3 times now, so I've stopped wearing them, because the 3rd time I thought that's crazy. I could have nearly broke my ankle. Both my ankles twisted completely out, and you're still strapped to the boots, so there's no way of just getting off of them, you know, jumping off as you're falling down. And the trouble is with them, they're good in one respect, is that when you're just standing still on them, you've got a wider footprint than your own foot, so that there's no tipping on it. But because you're so used to putting your foot, you know, you get used to knowing where things are, edges of things like a fireplace or a mantelpiece. And when you put your foot down with them, because you've got that wider circle of the foot, your foot is going where you think the mantelpiece is, and without the boots on you'd be right. But then the edge of them boots catches it, and it will just tip you, and it will throw you. So by all means, I'm not saying don't buy them, because I've used them to great effect, but just be warned, don't get too complacent on them. Always remember that you're on something other than your feet. And this is why I like the hop-ups. I know you've got to move them about, but you've got your, it's like, you know, you can tell exactly where you are on the edge of that. I've never really fallen off a hop-up. I've sort of almost walked off the edge of them, but I've never fallen off one. This could be the first time on video. And you see how you benefit from sealing the insides of these circles. They're still sitting on there nice and wet. If you hadn't done, that would have dried and that would have clumped. And then every time you go across it, you'll be pulling a clump out and it'll be dragging through like that. So that little tip will definitely work for you. These things are always pains in the arse. Although it's less sealing to skim, you'd rather not let that not be there and just skim it. It's that bit. Not so bad here because it's got no architrave, but when they got the architrave on them, that little bit behind there. Bits of crap in there, so that board's a bit lower there. Anyway, I've got plenty of gear, I shall get over that. Let's jump over here and pull this bit in. I'm presuming he's going to put some sort of architrave around that. I'll take it right in. Like I said, I mixed up too much plaster, but I think this ceiling's going to eat it up quite a bit really, because I'm going to put another load on, another thick one again. It's a bit up and down, this ceiling. Obviously these joists underneath are all over the place. They were in the other rooms, all these rooms. The joists were really up and down. I have no real set patterns to the where I start skimming and how I do it. It's just, you know, whatever I can reach from what I'm standing on really. So you'll see me coming from the left, coming from the right, from the end. So I just think it's all about just getting it on. Just get the stuff on now, and you can deal with it then. This bloody awkward bit. I left my ladders indoors today. I forgot how high they were really. otherwise I'd have a little ladder usually from there to there, but I have to do a little bit of a Jack Reacher. Is that his name, Jack Reacher? Preacher? I don't know. I don't watch all that stuff so much. Right. Is Jack Reacher Tom Cruise, or is he that big muscly fella? What's his name? I keep seeing him advertised lately. A bit of a man mountain. It was Tom Cruise, wasn't it? And then I've got this other bloke to do it. Don't know how Tom feels about that. Oh, Betty. I'm just not going to get there. I need a bigger trowel, really. I need a big 24-incher like old Smurf. He's got a 24-inch trowel, he has. If anyone's not seen his channel, Plaster Master Smurf, he's doing alright. And he's got the biggest trowel I've ever seen. He's got a trowel, it's 24 inches. Oh, I've never even seen one of them. Not that I've looked for one, but I've been plastering since about 1988. You wouldn't think it watching me here. But anyway, yeah, I've never seen a trowel as big as that. I think my biggest trowel is, I think, 18 inches. And it's a square trowel, it's not like it's a pool trowel. You know, they are bigger, the floor trowels and the pool trowels. You do expect them to be obviously bigger because they're trailing big areas up. But I don't know where he got it. It's like a derby, really. Talking of derbies, do you remember the old brown derby in the Wimpy? I know there's still a few Wimpys about, but the old brown derby, ooh, might be a bit sweet for me now, but when I was a kid, that was the dog's nuts. That was a hot donut with a cold ice cream on top, like a proper ice cream as well, like a Mr. Whippy, with nuts and juice on it, on top of a hot donut. OMG, man, that was heaven for a little greedy little bastard like me. I think there's still a few about, a Wimpy. I'm going to flatten that down quickly with the Rafina Plasty Flex. Just going to flatten it in. I know some say it's because they're plastic and they ride the ripples, and so you're not going to get a flat ceiling. But I'm not putting any pressure on that. There's no way that trowel is buckling or bending to any shape. It's just the plastic blade. It doesn't cut in like the metal ones do. So when you're troweling across, look, you're just getting that smooth plastic. You're not getting this sharp cutting in of the metal. So once you've got your first coat on, if you just go across it with one of these, it's really good on the lines. I'll tell you what is good as well. I've got one, I'll show you on another video, is the Marshalltown Squeegee, which is a bit gimmicky, I suppose. But again, just to lay down that first coat. And I think that's 24 inches, so that's like 2 foot wide. It's like a squeegee, really, like a window cleaner squeegee. But it's obviously got a different blade on it. And they're really good just for doing this, what I'm doing. And while that's taking, I'm going to chuck that wall on. This is just starting to stiffen up, this gear, so I'll be quick with it. So that has had 3 coats really. Put the normal 2 coats on, and then I just knocked the plaster back down again. Put a bit of water in it and knocked it down. And then I chucked another thin one across it all, because it's a bit up and down on that ceiling. So it doesn't hurt to put 3 coats on. If you need 3, you go for 3. There's no rules. So before I can get on this wall at all, this corner needs to be sorted out, because it's really ducking in that way on that side, and in on that side as well. So simple solution for that, which is quite a bit of luck that the door frame's there. Simple solution is I will get a level and get it on there, bring it out to, I'll probably do it that way up so they've got the thickness there. I'll plumb that in, and then I'll put a clamp from the level biting onto the out of that door frame. So I'll show you that once it's done. So obviously it's all got to be plumbed up there, and then put a clamp on. I shall show you that. 1 second. Got my clamp, and you need one with quite a long, you know, a wide width on it. So this part of the wall's fine. It's as it gets to the top, it starts doing all weird things. So I'm just going to plonk that on there. Make sure that's plumb, and then I'll just clamp this into there. Right, now that's not going to go anywhere, that's all good. I can see actually the whole wall is a bit thingy, but I can lose that with a bead, that bit. This top bit was the one. So now I can hit this bit with bonding and bring it in now. Because you don't want to be trying to set a bead on and dabbing it into that much depth of stuff, because it will twist a bit. So just a bit of bonding in there and pull that level. This can come off, and then if it needs it, we can return that and do the same on this side if this wall's dipping in a bit. So always use the simple tools that you've got at hand. You know, it's an age-old thing. A bit of straight wood, a plumb line. You know, people have been using these for forever, basically. So there we go, the wall's nice and plumb now. Just a simple clamp, which is there, pinching onto the door frame, keeping that nice and level, and now you can really see how that wall deviates at the top. It really kicks in, so there's no way you'd want to be trying to set a bead onto that wall without sorting this out first. Otherwise you're on a hide into nothing really. While I'm waiting to do the final couple of polishes, I just want to show you my favourite trowel, which is this old thing. It's a Marshalltown. It's like a real flexible one. I can't remember what it's called, a Marshalltown. I don't know if it's like a flexi or whatever it's called, but it looks a right mess on the front because I was using it for last year for some silicone. I was rubbing up the silicone with it, and then I sort of remembered how good it was as a polishing trowel for plaster, so I cleaned all this side up again. But it's really a lovely trowel. It's my favourite trowel actually. It's a really nice thing to use, and it really polishes up well. I might even get another one actually. It's just like an old friend. It's your go-to trowel. If you're ever in trouble, this is the trowel I'd want with me. It's a little beauty, it is. Anyway, just thought I'd show you that. I'm sure we've all got our own little favourite trowels. But look, I've neglected it. Poor little bugger. But the edges are so sharp now, they're like razors. You wouldn't want to catch yourself on that. I mean, that's literally, that's like, it feels like a Stanley knife, the edge of that. So I don't really want to clean it too much because I don't want to start digging into it and chipping it. So I'll probably just leave it like that really. Might become a feature, mightn't it? But it's all looking good out here. The light's terrible here today. I'll put you back on my head for the final polish. But yeah, the ceiling is looking good. Let's get you up there. Looking along it. A little shine coming onto it, that back wall. I think once I've done that and sorted out this corner, which I'm just going to get ready for beading next time with me, I might call that a day today. This wall's had nothing, all I've used on that is the Rafina Plasiflex to put 2 coats on, actually 3 coats this wall had. Another little tiny one on top. And then just polishing with this Marshalltown. And you can see it coming up lovely. The final polish, here's the holes all nice now. Because I put SBR in them first, so it didn't get no nasty dregs. Years ago, when I was plastering, I wouldn't be satisfied until the trowel was screeching on the surface. This was making like a, you know, the old high-pitched screech. It was really dry and really shiny. But it doesn't do the painters any favour. They don't like that. I used to work on a firm doing insurance work for big insurance companies, and if you knew the painters that were following you on, you could really piss them off by doing that, making the ceiling actually look like a bit of marble. And they turn up thinking they've got a quick day painting their ceiling. And their paint ain't going nowhere, it's just going to sit on it. So will you stop polishing them fucking ceilings up? Because you know what the old painters are like, they wanted to get straight down a pub. Some of the cheeky gits would even, if you had to go back there for something else, would even say, look, I've left a tub of paint here, you wouldn't just give it a quick. And I was younger at the time. If the painters were old, you'd say, yeah, because you're trying to get on the good side. Yeah, don't worry, mate, yeah. I'll give that a quick mist coat for you. All the time, they're booking the job in like on their jobs so that they were there. Crafty buggers. Crafty. They were different days then, no trackers. You did have no one tracking you. You did have a mobile phone then, but I mean, work was great when there was no mobile phone. Imagine that. You worked for a company and all you did was get your job where to go, your job sheet, whatever. And that was it for the day. No one could get hold of you. None of that ringing you up. Oh, so and so needs a hand, or there's an emergency here. That was it. And then it came out, we started getting no phone boxes near you, or they was out of order. And then things like pagers turned up and Blackberries. And little by little, that was it. Your freedom was gone. They knew where you were all the time. They could ring you up whenever they wanted to and send you wherever they wanted to. And after a few years of all that, because I was always one of these workers that I'd go in and get the job done. I wouldn't hang about. I wouldn't stop for dinner. I wouldn't, you know, take my breaks because my children were young at the time. I needed to get home from work, so I might be finished at 2 or 3, and I'd think, well, I'm not going anywhere else. I've done a day's work. Well, other blokes would take their dinner breaks and they'd make that job last till 5 o'clock. So then if anyone did turn up on site, they're still there, you know, playing the game. But I'd be gone. Although I'd done the same amount of work, to be honest. And it was scary, but I went for it. You know, I was working for a firm. I had all the benefits that a firm offers you. Van, paid holidays, phone, you know, all that lark. But when I weighed it up, I thought, you know what, I want my freedom more than that. And I just took a chance, and I gave back a lovely, almost brand new transit van to the firm when I left. And I found an old beaten up transit tucked away. So there we've got a nice straight edge again. So once that's all set, we can set our ankle bead on that and we're all good and plumb. That's all done. All done the ceiling now. Just made that cornering ready for next time. So Sunday afternoon, it's about 1:30 and I've had enough, I'm going home. I just really wanted to get that ceiling done, so obviously if I'm back here in a week and there's other blokes maybe milling about in here, there shouldn't be, but you know, sometimes I got to turn up and do a bit. At least I'm not hogging this upper staircase up with the ceiling and people's trying to squeeze past me. So that's it. That's the reason for really wanting to get that done today. See you tomorrow. I am boarding up an old fireplace and skimming that, so I'll probably film a bit of that and I'll show you that when it's done.